My God!
Mic check. Mic check, mic check, mic check, mic check, mic check.
My God! My God!
Yo, 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 yo.
Oh, the Lord said, you must eat.
Yeah, man, go on roping, peace, roping.
Not even 10 cents, me no beg friend. From them now make progress, me a bench them. Early morning me jump out like spring shell. Never all for myself, me ever broke bread. You have a feminine style from your love bed. Can't come round the killer them with bust head. I just them licky we has make enough dead. Every time you see them I beg 100. Money is a universal wrong word. Because stuff for my shop in a stop dig. Serious bomb, my money on a ramping. The killer them no move like Sam Smith. I'm the way full them up a shot like Gatlin. Me never stop press over for stop win. Mama take care of me, she have to have things. Big house, food stock fridge. Me I got hard on the work stretch. Rough up wood. Money make me happy, dog. Money make me happy. Don't count me out yet. No time. Money make me happy. Money make me happy. Me I got hard on the work stretch. Big cheese and most money, no. 7 minutes, you know. New business record. KWMG. Yo, Kado. You see, girl, me look good. Where I go? Yo, you're my baby. You're my wife. You know worry about kill this girl out the road. Just live your life. Girl, you look good. Every man want a link. Back you up, now sing. Girl, you look good. Every man want a link. Go put on your shorts, come and love when you are print. Girl, you look good. Every man want a link. You're not full of bed bug, flea, and chink. Girl, you look good. Every man want a link. Never get up for your party and drink. Some gyal a wear spike heel and a wobble. Fi reach a your yard, you no puggle, you no puggle. And a one jockey sit down in a saddle. Me no raffle, you no play quench, you get the wriggle. Body no tired, gyal you fit like a figgle. Cock up in a shot and you them a jiggle. Fat don't stand up in the middle. Gyal you look good. Every man want a link. Back you up, now sing. Gyal you look good. Every man want a link. Go put on your shorts, come and love when you a print. Gyal you look good. Every man want a link. You're not full of bed bug, flea, and chink. Girl, you look good. Every man want a never get down for your party and drink. Yo, your body good from head down to toe. Anywhere you go, the man them want you to. Broke off, girl, you know you are.
No, yeah, we're there. We're there. Can you hear me?
Pride your character no know. Y'all no parent and a fiatic toe. No catch by your top star your own show. You know who did you sell our flow? Y'all don't look good. Every man want a link. Y'all you look good. Every man want a link. Go put on your shorts, come and love when you are print. Y'all you look good. Every man want a link. You're not full of bed bug, flea, and chink. Y'all you look good. Every man want a never get up for your party and drink. Yo, you're my baby. You're my wife. You know worry about kill this girl out the road. Just live your life. Enough man I look after you when you come come out with you something fat up in a tights. But me not worry about that, me baby, we coming home. Me I hug you up every night. Girl, you look good. Every man want a link. You wanna sting. Girl, you look
No, I'm not hearing music.
Every man want a link. You put on your shorts, come and love when you are print. Girl, you look good. Every man want a link. You're not full of bed bug, flea, nothing. Girl, you look good. Every man want a never get jacked for your party and drink.
Yo, mic check, 1 2, mic check 1 2, mic check 1 2. I hope everybody can hear me right now. I hope everybody can hear me. Blessings. Carlos, can you hear me?
Clearly.
All right, and I think the crowd can hear you as well. I'm assuming whoever is watching, because I'm seeing the signal from your microphone going into the desktop audio. Can you do it one more time just to make sure?
Yeah, I can hear you clearly.
All right. Yes. Welcome, everybody. Yeah, I want to say big up to everybody that's on the live right now watching it. A special big up to the ones that are early birds. And definitely, I want to say big up to the ones that are going to catch it on the rerun. Apparently, more people catch it on the rerun, which is fine as long as people are watching it. So, yeah, everybody give yourself a round of applause. Guys, if you didn't know, I have Carlos on the line. Yours truly, my name is Kadu Williams. How many hats do I wear? Quite a few, right, Carlos? Multiple hats. You know, I'm a presenter, producer, artist sometimes, composer, finance guy, I guess you could say, and a bunch of different hats. A father, husband, you know what I mean, family man, and everything.
Man a yard. But
not no mama man thing. You understand what I'm saying?
No, mama.
Hey, you remember the old Juki Jam play them, Carlos?
Yeah, I remember them play them.
Yeah, I wonder if they're still making stuff like that, man. When's the last time you watched a play?
Bro, it's been a minute. Okay, the last time I watched a play was probably like, let me see. Bro, I can't even remember. Probably that was back in probably college days, bro. I'm not gonna lie. That's a long time ago.
And you're referring to like a live play, right? Not like on a DVD or anything like that.
Bro, on DVD. It's not even live. On DVD. No cap.
When's the last time you watched a play in person is what I was asking.
Bro, I can't recall that. I can't recall if I ever watched a live play before. Well, watch a live play before, but I don't remember. But it's been a while, bro. It's been a while. Probably that's something I need to explore one of these days. Probably like, you still do those things in Jamaica, right?
Yes, man. I've watched quite a few plays. The last time I watched one was maybe like a good 5 or 6 years ago. When I went to Jamaica, we went to Jamaica and we got to see a play. Honestly, I can't remember the name of it, but what's that guy name? And he's very popular. He's in a lot of plays. I can't remember all those actors' name right now, but it was some big actors in there. And it was a lot of fun. You know what I mean? They have intermission where you go outside, get a snack or whatever, coming back. It's very interesting. Like, it's not boring at all. It's a lot of fun, a lot of laughter. And, you know, maybe if you were watching it on a DVD or something like that, it wouldn't have the same effect. But when you're in person and they're acting live, you get to see all the mistakes, you get to see all the improvisation, and just it's a wonderful experience. I think it's definitely something you should definitely see at some point. And you know what? It doesn't have to be like a funny play. It can be like a serious play as well. You know, plays they're very interesting. I tell you that.
Yeah, we have a lot of good actors in Jamaica too, when it comes to that, you know. So can only imagine, but I mean, like it's something I definitely need to explore. One of these days. One of these days when I'm in Jamaica, find myself at a spot and see if I can watch a couple plays.
No, for sure.
Just merely for the laughter, though. Because like I'm a kind of person that love laughter when it comes to those things. Because if it's not the laughter, well, you're not gonna get me.
Yeah, I like plays. I like plays. I like comedy shows. Have you ever been to a comedy show?
Yeah, man, comedy show, man. Been to
Okay.
comedy.
Oh, yeah, yeah. All right. So those are pretty fun.
Yeah,
The last time I've been at one is when I had went on when we went on that cruise, but
yeah.
prior to that, I went to a few. Probably I saw the Wayans brothers. They were okay, but I think my I saw my favorite was Eddie Griffin. He's one of my favorite comedians. So that was a pleasure to see Eddie Griffin. But you know what? Also, I've not only been to plays, but I've also been to um like other types of comedic shows. Like I've been to Raga Shanti show before in Kingston.
Mix up. What I need? Mix up and blender.
I mix up and blend that time.
Hey,
Yeah, no, I've actually been to one of those before. Somebody, it's some people that I was around. Some family members that came from Canada, and like what? I'm not gonna go into deep who the family member is or whatever, but his wife is like a big Raga Shanti fan, you know what I mean? And she wanted to go see a Raga Shanti show live. And we were all kind of like in the same area. We were staying in the same place or something like that, from what I remember. And they were all just going, and they asked me if I want to go. I'm like, sure. It was funny. It was interesting. I mean, Ragash is basically the radio show, but with like actual live games and stuff like that. It's funny. It's just like it's cool. It's not just like what people may think that, oh, mix up and blender, blah blah blah. Nah, it's not even like I mean, it's like that, but it's not entirely like that. I'll put it that way.
yeah. I mean, you have a couple of young ones that were actually like trying to make a mark right now, which I probably want to go and take them live, some live stand-up comedy. That's another one. See a couple of them right now. From Jamaica, this guy, I think his name is Dale Elliott.
Oh, I think didn't we speak about him before? That guy is immensely talented. He's really good with stand up. I've never seen him live. However, I did see him. I did see clips of him. A show that he did in Canada, and he did so well as far as commanding the stage. He just seems like a natural. He seems like he did his research as far as to know the types of jokes to give and when to do patois, when to speak more English, that type of thing. And he touched all the nuances of the Jamaican culture, or that people may know of Jamaican culture, and made it funny. So yeah, he's a big deal. I think sky's good. Even though he's big right now, I think sky's the limit. I think he can get bigger and bigger. I would like to see him cross over that Caribbean market to where he has more people that are non-Caribbean that are watching his shows. But I mean, that comes with time, because first he has to capture all the little what do you call it, spots where all the Caribbean people are. I can't remember the word they call it.
I think that's
The diaspora. He has to get into all the diasporas first before he can cross over. Like my guy, what's the guy named Major Hype? Yeah.
Yeah, Major Hype is like, it's like within the diaspora, bro. I think Major Hype would be like, probably you could call him the king right now for that, because
Yeah.
yeah, man, he dominates.
But
Major dominates, and he's going to a lot of places, a lot.
yeah, but Major Hype also, I think he kind of crosses over, because
Yeah, for real.
when you see him, like, there's like people that are not Caribbean that actually like his jokes and stuff, and he he doesn't have to talk patois or talk Caribbean. He could do the straight English or straight American English jokes as well. Like he could do jokes in that way as well, and I think that's like a big deal. Like so, he's like the top guy as far as the Caribbean comedians. In my opinion, there's a couple of guys that are pretty big, but he's like the head kahuna. You know what I mean?
Yeah, major hype is diverse. You know, I mean, you can tap into a lot of different cultures within the Caribbean. So, and one of the things I realized with major hype, one of his best kept secret right now is where is he from? You know, people still and I think he still try to not let it be known to everyone, even though I think some people might know, because that kind of put more suspense around him, and people want to continue to see major hype in show, you know. So I mean, like he's very good, man. He's very really funny too, you know. Really
he
funny.
is, man. There's this other guy. I'm not sure if you're familiar with him, but he just got an interview with The Fix, and I'm telling you, I've been paying attention to him for a while now, for maybe about a year, and I think he's gonna be one of the big guys as well. His name is Bobby Sachs.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, you guys are in Atlanta, so you're probably familiar with him, you know.
Of course I know Bobby Sachs. I know I've been taking in Bobby Sachs for a while now. For a while now, I know about Bobby Sachs.
Yeah, this man is just like, this man is immensely talented, bro, and
Yeah, I know about Bobby Sachs.
I think he's gonna go like really far. You know why too? Bobby Sachs, he doesn't only do the Jamaican jokes, you know what I mean? He can also do jokes like American jokes. Like if you're watching like Chris Rock, Eddie Griffin, any Dave Chappelle, like he could earthworm, he could talk, you know what I mean? He could talk that talk, like he could talk like American accent with the American accent, and he has good jokes basically. He has jokes that could resonate in the culture, the actual American culture. I think I don't know how. See, I've never seen him in person. I've just seen clips, so I don't know, and I don't know the type of crowds that he performs in front of. So all the time, so I don't know if he does more Jamaican type stuff versus the American type stuff. But he's like one of those guys that he's like major hype. He's like a chameleon. Like he could just blend into different cultures, and I think that's the key. I think that's for sure the key.
Yeah, I mean, like he's getting there, you know. He's getting there, but I said that guy is like he's really funny because the one thing though, Tristan. I mean, most of the time I watch him doing like, because I think I don't know if was in the military or something like. But whenever he play those skits on Instagram, they're really serious, you know.
In my niggas.
Niggas. Yeah, man. My niggas surely, you know. So, and one next thing when you see him doing like a hat, you see the man do a hat with they're actually like on a battlefield, and that was his starting point, you know, to advertise an event. I was like, yo, this is crazy, you know. Bro, it's crazy. So, yeah, man, and there are a couple of them, man, and they're doing them thing, you know. So, kudos to them, you know. Yep.
Yeah, nah, definitely. So, all right, let's get into it. Let's get into it. Yeah, let's get into it. So, nice little warm up. But as you know, Carlos, we have about 4 or 5 different topics to talk about. So before we get into it, let's recap what went on last week. So last week, our conversation, we had a couple topics that we spoke that we were conversing on, but the main topic was Mark Golding and his British citizenship and the whole hurrah and all that. The video is doing quite well. I don't know if you've took notice of it.
Yeah, of course, it's doing well, you know. And that's something I've noticed. I don't know if it's because we have been away for a minute. So a lot of time when you've been scarce for a minute and you're back on the scene, like people been anticipating. So I mean, like they gravitate more. Or is a case where the topics are just interested, But I mean, like, I looked at it and I watched it a couple of times, you know. So and he's doing well. So thanks to everyone. Thanks to everyone for sharing.
No, for sure, guys. Give yourself a round of applause.
Yeah.
You guys are the real MVP. You understand what I'm saying? I'm so grateful for this audience. And if you haven't already subscribed, just go ahead and subscribe, and definitely click the like button if you haven't already. And definitely share this video to somebody that you think might be interested in this type of content. Definitely we'll be able to keep it fresh with new interesting topics on a weekly basis, and keep the consistency so that you guys can have something to look forward to, and not have this long hiatus like we had before. I know a lot of people, they were watching back the old videos and stuff like that, so give them something new and fresh. I know a lot of people that listen to this podcast or listen to this live, they do like driving, they drive trucks and stuff like that. So people like that, they just they cut it on and they just drive. They don't want to put on short videos because they don't want to have to keep their hands on their phone all the time, especially with those long drives. You want to keep focus on the road. So definitely this helps a lot, long form videos. And I myself understand, because I too have a long drive every now and again when I'm traversing on the road. So I know the importance of having long form content.
It's kind of interesting. Like, I was going through the comment section, and I was like, interesting. There's some very interesting comments. Some very interesting comments, and thanks to that person who referred to me as a PNP.
Oh, go my neighbor.
Nah, change your course,
You remember that? Hey, you remember that commercial? Do you remember that commercial? You remember when Bruce Golding was running for Prime Minister of Jamaica back in the day, right?
Yeah, I remember that one.
And they had this commercial where Bruce Golding used to say, "I am the driver." You remember that, right?
Yeah, I remember that just like yesterday.
And the PNP, I think it's the PNP YO or something like that. They made a commercial where Bruce Golding was driving the bus and crashed the bus with everybody and run away. And everybody's like, "Oh, where's the driver? Where's the driver?" Funniest thing, bro. Like, you gotta love election time, right?
Yeah, election time, bro. It's always a time I look forward to, because you're gonna see all these like come out with all this campaign like style where they're going to use their little comedic ways to try to tear down the other opponent. It's always interesting, like back then when you have Portia said she's not changing any course and all these things, So I hope we still have this humor going forward, I mean with social media now, I can only expect that we will see that same style of campaigning continue,
Well, I'm sure you'll have it, because there's quite a bit of jokes that's been floating around since the past couple of years. So,
I think that one thing I remember back then, and it has nothing to do with campaign. It was something with Pernell Charles. And I think Pernell Charles was in a constituency, and there was a pothole, and so asked him about it, and Pernell Charles was like, "It's not my vote." Portia's vote. So like, bro.
Oh gosh. Is it Pernell Charles that always fall asleep in Parliament?
I think so. I think he. Hold on, wait. Is Pernell Charles still
Is
there?
it Pernell Charles?
I think so.
Isn't it the guy with the patch of gray hair? You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, that's Pernell Charles, man.
Isn't he the one? I hope I'm not
honestly
branding the wrong person.
I don't remember.
I thought it was him. There's somebody that's always falling asleep in Parliament, bro.
I think he's the one, but could be somebody else. But every now and then, since Parliament and all the time, they must get a little bored sometimes and just feel like, hey, just come just like me in a classroom and just drop asleep,
I know, yo. Yo, both of us used to. Remember, we used to fall asleep in that lecture, bro. Oh man.
bro.
Yo,
Bro,
I used to wake up. When I wake up, everybody's out. The lecture is done, bro.
bro, I mean, I don't even want to distract. I know what the worst thing that ever happened to me. I've been doing this from I was in high school, bro. Remember one time when I was in high school, I was in history class, bro. And you know what? You see when I fell asleep in the class. When I get up, I was in a different class, like a new class come inside here, and I was like, where are my classmates? They're all gone. They were all gone. My God, bro. Yeah, so how it is, man. How it is, bro.
Good days, the good old days.
Yeah.
All right. So let's progress. Let's progress. So, did you get a chance to just peruse the topics that I sent you for today?
Yeah, I did. I did.
Okay, so we want to start with Elaine Thompson-Herah versus Sha'carri Richardson. So I actually have an article that I want to read. I'm going to browse through it. I might not read all of it. I just want to run through it real quick. But before I do so, let's get some background, right? So as you know, Sha'carri, I mean, before Sha'carri, right? Jamaica has been dominating sprints, men's and women's, for quite some time, right? Many years, right? It used to be the USA for a long time, and then I think Jamaica got a good like 12 years of dominating sprints or more, probably, right? For both men's and women's, from the likes of Asafa Powell, Usain Bolt, Shelley and Fraser, Elaine Thompson, you name it. I mean, all these, there's so, I can't name everybody, right? But and look, America and for the most part, and other countries, always had good contenders in sprints, even though Jamaica was on top, but none of them were quite able to break any real barriers until this little short girl called Sha'carri Richardson just showed up on the scene maybe about 3 or 4 years ago, if that. And when she first showed up, do you remember all the embarrassment that she had faced by just like being very overconfident, undermining her opponents, which are like literally sprint legends that's been doing it for years. And she literally embarrassed herself. She just couldn't run a good track. She couldn't compete with the people that were like second and third to the Jamaican top sprinters, and she was still overconfident. She was supposed to go to the Olympics the last time. She didn't get to go because apparently they found like weed in her system or something like that. It was just struggles after struggles that she had to go through, mostly because of her own doing, but ever since the past like couple years, Sha'carri Richardson has got very, very focused, and it seems as if she has matured into a more what would you say, strong-minded, strong-willed, calm, and somewhat more humble sportswoman now, and I think it's paying off for her. What say you?
One thing I can say about this girl, Sha'carri Richardson, right, is that she has a very big heart, because I remember like back in the days when she started out and she were competing with our Jamaican sprinters, and we all see the results. I mean, she was always in, like, most of the time she ended up in the last position, and even though she always find herself within that spot, she always seems to be very relentless, still confident, Because I remember she saying that I took some time to rest. I know at the time she said she took some time to rest. I know she was back, And everyone was like, I mean, like, you took some time to rest. I know you come back and you went third and you lose to the other sprinters. So, I mean, I said it to say, like, she did her homework, Tristan. She did her homework. She studied she studied the Jamaican counterparts, and she understand the task, And that's why you realize that she's actually in this spot right now, because she's actually a person who is a firm believer in it's not over until I win, you know. By the way, that's something that, but you know, and you see where that's the reason why she is at the spot where she is now, because she just realized that she has to get it done, regardless of what it takes, you know. And Elaine Thompson, I mean, I guess she know that, like, on the field or on the track, I mean, anything can happen. None of us are invincible, you know. And so that's why we're seeing the results that we're seeing now. So I just think, like, what Sha'carri Richardson is doing right now, I guess she can continue to keep doing her A game, you know, keep playing her A game, and she'll reach far, you know. Kudos to her, you know. I mean, back then I used to jeer her and say, like, you're not gonna make, I don't think you'll ever be able to beat a Jamaican, but trust me, she proved me wrong. But I mean, she understand the assignment. She did the job. She trained and she developed, and now she's a champion, you know. So, respect to her, you know.
You know what? I really like her. Ever since she came on the scene, before she started to get all the flack that she got, before she got controversial. I remember when she just started to run, like, challenging times to where she actually could compete, because she is young, right?
She's a young girl, man.
She's very young. I remember when she got her first, like, big media attention, and that's where I noticed her, and I liked her ever since. I'm like, oh, this girl could probably compete. And then after that, I guess maybe the media attention got to her head or something like that, and she just got overconfident to a point to where it's okay to be confident in yourself, but in something like track and field, you still have to be respectful in a sense. It's just good sportsmanship or sportswomanship to be to be respectful to the ones that are, like, not just runners. It's you got to be respectful just to the regular runners, but especially to the ones that are, like, legends, like that. When it's all said and done, they have done so much with their career to where their names will be etched up on the, you know, the plaques and the billboards for that stuff. You understand? Like,
you know what I think though? I just think, like, Sha'carri Richardson at the time, you know, because of the media attention and all the hype that she was getting from that, you know. She think that she arrived, you know, to the point where she becomes so overconfident and optimistic.
Yeah, she was overconfident. Yeah,
optimistic. And you know what? If there's one thing I wish she should have known at the time, that sometimes it's better to be like a living pessimist than to be a dead optimist, you know. I think that's what was happening to her at the time. She was too optimistic and not be realistic at it, to realize that these other sprinters that I'm competing against, they already went through and they have stood the test of time, and that's why they are where, and that's why they're having those they get those trophies and whatever, you know. So I think she undermined that and think that, you know what, I think I can defeat them, but you know what, she actually did it. So it doesn't matter how long it takes for her to get it done, she get it done. So I mean, kudos to her.
All right. Yeah. So fast forward to today. Well, not today, but I think it's sometime last week. Sha'carri Richardson actually ran against Elaine Thompson for the first time this season. This was actually Elaine Thompson's first race for the season, and I tell you what, man, Elaine Thompson-Herah came dead last, my guy, dead last. It was hard to watch, man. It was hard to watch. I just, like, I can't. I don't know, man. I feel like, look, I don't know if you know about the whole history. She was with this popular, well, not popular, but this prestigious sports camp. I don't remember if it's MVP or whatever the name is. Forgive me, guys, if I can't remember the name. But she was with a prestigious camp, and she left that camp is where she is what the camp she was with when she won her gold medals in the Olympics and so on, and she left that camp to let her and hired her husband as her trainer, and that's where everything went downhill. Did
Yeah,
you do you know of that?
yep. I know that. I know that. I mean, you see, sometimes you see, it could be a case where, like, I mean, she will just become a little more comfortable now, because she's married and she is not so focused on her and sprinting at this point in time. That could be a reason. It's not like I mean, in light of what took place 3 years ago, I don't think that she's all it's over for her. Trust me, it's over for her. Sometimes I think in sports, sometimes it's good to go through those times where you actually face a loss like that, because you know what, sometimes you will bring reality to you to realize that, you know what, it's time to get back to the drawing board. It's time to get back on par with my training, get back on par with the things that I used to do that I'm not doing now, and she can eventually get back there. So I just like, I would say this is like a wake up call for her, because I mean, I just think she have a lot of oil, with right now, still can utilize when it comes to that Olympics. So I mean, I'm not gonna say it's done days for her. She still have a lot, a
So
lot, a lot.
do you think that she has passed her prime or past her peak? Because she is 31 years old now, and we all know that with sports, age is basically the grim reaper of sporting talents, especially with something like track and field. The older you get, the harder it is for you to run certain times. So overall, you might not be able to perform at the optimum shape, efficiency and speed that you used to. Because even the coach, that he said, matter of fact, he said he will never take her back to the camp. As a matter of fact, which is it sounds cold, but it sounds like he was hurt. But the way how he described Elaine Thompson, he described her as like a well-oiled and well-tuned engine, and basically he said that if you take that engine to the wrong mechanic, they're not gonna know what to do with it. If they're not like that, he's basically saying, take them to the wrong mechanic, and you let one part of the engine go bad, then everything is gonna start go bad after that. Just basically how a car works. When one thing goes wrong, if you don't fix it right away, then it causes something else to go wrong, something else to wrong. That's how he described her body, and that's how I'm like, this guy knows track. He's a real coach, because he knows track and field down to a science. You know what I mean? Hello? I can't hear Carlos.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah, you muted. You were mute or something.
Yeah, you compare this girl Shelley Fraser. Shelley Fraser is older than Elaine Thompson, I think.
Yeah, I think she's much older.
She, she was-
She's probably about 34, 35 at least.
yeah. So I'm just doing a comparison of the age and everything. And but I think she was also part of the same camp that Elaine Thompson is a part of, I believe. I believe she was also a part of the same camp. But the reason I brought up Shelley Fraser is because I know that she did well past 31. But I mean, and she was to a large extent very consistent. Very consistent. And I think, and I know that even though sometimes when we start to reach 30, 32, because I believe Usain Bolt, you retired at the age of 32. That was the age that he retired. So 31 for Elaine Thompson. Yeah, I still think that she has a lot more within her that she can prove. So I don't think it's actually done deal. I don't think she
Yeah,
actually I think so.
the thing
So
is, the thing is, Carlos, she might have like a good 4 more years left, to where she's actually competing at the highest level. But that doesn't mean. Look, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, or be the person that's negative. I just don't want to be that, and I'm not saying that she won't, or she can't, but I think it's more rare to see. I think it's rare to see people perform at that level and win gold medals at the important events after that age. You see it more often below that age. If, that's what I'm saying.
No, no, oh, you're right with that, You're definitely right, You're right with that, But I mean, as I said, like, I just think more. She can probably like do it one or two more, but I still something within her. I just think she need to get back to this. She need to get back to the drawing board, and I mean, the coach is not going to take her back to her she's not going to get any acceptance if she even try to return. So that's a big no-no right there. But she can get it done, I mean, if you look at it like way back from 2016 when she was clocking like 10.70 in 100 meters, and then in 2021 I think it was 10.61 or something like that. So she actually like improved a lot, If you look at it, because I mean she started out so high and then she keep breaking her own records. So let us see.
Here, so I'm gonna read this article real quick. Let me run through this article. So this is following the track event where Elaine Thompson-Herah came dead last in the race that Sha'carri Richardson won, right? So this is from essentiallysports.com, just to make sure they get the credit for it. So Elaine Thompson-Herah's ninth place finish causes turbulence in track and field and community. Don't think so? Okay, so that's how they word it. So finishing ninth at the Prefontaine Classic 2024, the world's fastest woman had a slow start this season. Elaine Thompson-Herah, the renowned Jamaican sprinter and two-time Olympic champion in the 100 and 200 meter events, clocked in at 11 seconds and 11.30 seconds, the slowest she ever ran in any meet to date. As a result, her lackluster finish, despite her track record of speed and dominance, has stirred debates and speculations. Elaine's start at Eugene was quite disappointing but not alarming, considering it was her season debut. Looking back at her history, this isn't the first time Thompson-Herah has had a slow start. In 2021, she clocked 11.21 seconds at the Velocity Fest early in the season. Later that year, she stunned the world by finishing first at the Prefontaine Classic with a blistering time of 10.54 seconds. X-Handles Track Spice shared their opinion about Elaine Thompson's decision to return to race at the high-profile Prefontaine Classic ahead of the race. They wrote, "Popular opinion. Elaine should have opened up her season at a smaller meet. It implied that since Elaine usually requires some time to find her momentum at the start of the season, as her track record suggests, making her first appearance of 2024 at the Prefontaine Classic may not have been the best decision. Maybe a smaller, lower stakes meet than the Diamond League would have made more sense." Do you agree with that?
Yeah. I mean, like, for me, like, Tristan, I just think, like, just give her time, Give her time, because it's not like, as based on the article, it's not like she wasn't in that situation before, and then she revived, and she was able to clock 10.54 in Eugene. So who knows? I mean, she might just use this loss as a means to train harder and get back to the drawing board. And who knows? She could set a new record, So like, this is sports,
Yeah. Sorry.
Irregardless of her, and irregardless of her age, I mean, she could do it again, She could. I'm not gonna write her off. So I mean, it has happened in the past, and she rose to the occasion and get it done. So, let us see.
So she actually I think I heard news. I think now that I remember, because I've been following it a little bit as I see, updates about her in the news or whatever, or in the media. From my understanding, I think she's kind of back in the camp, but she's training with one of the other coaches in the camp. So she's technically, I don't think she's training with the main guy but she's training in basically the same camp and the facilities or something. So there's somebody that's familiar with that type of training that she got there that she's training with again. So I might be wrong, don't quote me, but I think that's the last thing I heard. So I don't know if she still has her husband training her, but she's slowly creeping back into the camp where she had all of her success basically.
You know what? You know, another thing, Tristan, is sometimes like if you think of a lot of time, like if you have your wife, right, and you're teaching your wife to do something, sometimes you might be a little lenient, because you don't want pressure them. So sometimes you want someone external to actually do that training who's gonna be rough. And that's a rough, don't necessarily they're gonna deal with it in a demeaning way. They're gonna be very hard on you in training, and if you slip up, they will tell you that you slip up, So right, yeah. I just think that there's a reason why they have to separate the two, I mean, I'm not gonna say his husband is not capable of doing a good training job, but I mean, I think it's best for her to be in that camp where she used to get great results.
I just think it's a bad idea for her to have her husband train her. I don't care how good her husband is or how knowledgeably he is. I just think that when it comes to relationship, you want to separate that from things, certain types of goals, like sports goals, business goals. You want to have people that don't have any type of emotional connection to anything within what you're doing. You understand? You want to keep that out of it and keep it straight business no matter what, because I feel like that emotional connection can really disrupt some stuff.
Fact. That will disrupt a lot of stuff because her husband will, because of love, the husband probably don't want to push her that harder, and a lot of times on the other hand, the coach, I mean, it's not like there's an intimate connection. He's as far as he's a coach and his job is to train Elaine. Right. They want to get the best results. He's gonna push Elaine.
Right, and he's gonna give her the unfiltered truth.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's sometimes you need to get, because I mean, it's not like, don't get me wrong. Some husband, regardless of, I mean, there's an intimate connection. They're gonna let their wife know that, you know what, you have to get it done. This is what I'm doing. But in most cases, you're gonna find that the husband might be a little lenient in those situations. So I just think overall, I mean, the best thing for her to do is to get back to the camp that she wants was and try to get back on track, because I mean, as you can see, the idea of her husband training her, she's not getting the results that she used to get in the past. So
right.
I mean, she has a lot within her, and I think she can make more records and break her own records again. So I mean, I'm looking forward to that, by the way. So.
No, definitely. Yeah, I mean, look, I think that Elaine, not because I said she's getting old, that doesn't mean I think that, okay, she's gonna fail, she can't win the gold medal and all that stuff, man. I just think that it's gonna be harder. You know what I'm saying?
Of course. Remember, like in this, I mean, it's really for the younger generation. Honestly, when it comes to this type of sprinting, so I mean, she's not gonna be at her hair game the whole older she gets, So I get it, but I mean, that's why she has to realize that, I mean, in order for her to really, really be fit and be consistent, it's good to get the best training there is, so that she can still produce those good results even when she gets a little older, But I mean, her clock is probably ticking right in this sports right now, so maybe she can think about like setting some new records, and this probably, I don't want to tell her to retire, because I mean, she might think in herself that she can do a lot more, But just as the time is winding down now, just try to try if she can produce better results, and be and continue with her training, and just continue to work on her weaknesses, because she might have some weaknesses right now which you need to work on and get back on par, Who knows? We might just hear the news that Elaine Thompson sets a new record in her next her next matchup. So let us see, you know. Um,
Because the thing is, I always wanted her to I always wanted her to get the gold medal. You understand? I just
yep.
uh, not gold medal, but she already has that to break the world record because um what's my girl name again? Flojo.
Yeah.
It's just it's I still can't fathom it. Her running those times way back in those days. You know when, and look, I'm not accusing Flojo of taking drugs, but that was the drug era that she ran those times, my brother. And it's just I feel like I'm not gonna say Flojo was on drugs, man. I'm not because she never was caught on it, but I'm just a little suspicious.
Hey, you know what, Tristan? You said that you were talking about like age and like you remember this runner by the name of Merlin Atty? Remember that runner? I think she ran up
Yeah.
to she ran up to age 45, you know. 45, you know. And I remember when I was growing up, Merlin Atty was, I mean, I think she was probably one of the most popular names, you know. I don't know, and she got like and she was yeah,
She never won a gold though. She always came
you
like
know,
third.
I think they said that she probably get cheated out of stuff like them. I cannot like find research, but she's always getting bronze.
Yeah.
She was that was the era of bronze in in sprinting. That was it. She got a lot of bronze, you know, a lot of bronze. So
You know the crazy thing is, the crazy thing is, we always used to big her up for the bronze.
yeah,
That's before Jamaica was getting like gold medals, very frequently. We used to, oh my god,
I think
we used to
after
celebrate her bronze like it's a gold medal.
there was this the runner I'm following Merlin until there was this other one. I forgot her name. And she got a silver. I remember one time she ran and got a silver. You know, is it Dion Emmons? I think it's Dion Emmons. You know, I think it was Dion. I
Yeah, I
think
remember Dion Emmons. Yeah,
yeah, Dion Emmons. I think I think she did the hurdles, right? If I don't like, and I think she got a silver. She got a silver. You know, that was like a big thing for Jamaica. You know, big thing for Jamaica. You know.
yeah,
So we have really come a far way, you know, to the point where like we were actually dominating the sports, you know. So I get it, you know, to be at a point where where one of our athletes is coming last. No,
yeah,
that's not we can follow, you know, especially someone like Elaine Thompson. You know, I know the records that she has set in the past and the influence that she has on other up and coming athletes. So I just think like she need to just get back to the drawing board. And we know you have a lot of oil in the engine. So let us just utilize it and show the world that you are Elaine Thompson, you know.
Oh,
And
I hear
I still have great
No,
expectations
no, no,
for
don't
her.
kill it about that, though.
all right, cool. So, all right, let's progress. So, I think we've had enough of that topic. We want to make sure we move on to the other topics just so we can keep within the time frame, right? So the next topic, guys, before we move on to the next topic, guys, please remember to like the video if you've not already liked the video. This does wonders with the algorithm as far as spreading it across to everybody else. Definitely also subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. It's that red button right below, maybe here. You definitely want to also share the live to somebody that you think may be interested in this type of content. So definitely remember to like, share, and subscribe. And very importantly, if you feel the need to comment about something, by all means, go ahead and type your comment. Even if you don't have much to say, we would appreciate if you just put any comment in there. Fire emoji, smiley emoji, good job, it doesn't matter. Just put something in there, help the algorithm out. All right, cool. So all right, let's move on to the next topic, guys. So the next topic is the influence of music on impressionate minds, right? And Carlos, I'm gonna play an excerpt from an interview by DHQ Carlene. You remember DHQ Carlene?
Yep.
That was on the Slam Condoms and Dancehall Queen.
Yes.
All right, so she did an interview with The Fix, and look, she said a lot of things. There's a lot of things we could talk about within that interview, but there was one thing that really struck me, and I really wanted to just kind of expound on that, or have you expound on that as far as what do you think about what she's saying. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and find the clip and give it a play, and then I'll stop it and we'll talk about it. All right.
Run it.
All right. So let me know if you're hearing it. Hold on.
Skimpy is
Yeah, I'm
normal
hearing it.
now, so now them have to
Go
push the
Did you hear that a while ago?
Yes.
Okay. So you heard the YouTube clip, right? So guys, this is a clip. It's a short clip that I'm narrating or reacting to, if you will, from The Fix. So The Fix, if you see this or if your algorithm picks this up, the only thing I ask of you, don't strike me, bro. Don't strike me, please. All right. So we're just gonna play a quick. It's less than 2 minutes. All right. So Carlos, let me know if you're not hearing. Okay.
Yeah, I would.
All right, guys.
And 90s, 80s, 90s, early
Yeah.
2000.
No, I mean, and sex
I don't know,
isn't.
man. I think
Sex
this
isn't
kid's
so
playing
taboo.
Russian roulette out here.
I
No,
don't
there
think
is still.
so.
No, it's about 70%.
Yeah, I think we've
bad.
gotten better in terms of
Yeah, man,
sex
we have.
education.
We have.
I mean, before I remember buying
and-
condoms, and I was a kid, and it's like you feel weird about it.
Yeah,
but,
man, no,
and then
man,
we
it's
kinda
so much
judge
choice. You just pick it up. No, you don't even have to ask for it.
Yeah, I'm not
Yeah.
You can
hearing.
just pick.
You're not hearing.
No.
Oh, okay. All right. Let me fix that. Sorry. All right. Can you
them up.
Yeah.
And what happened
did you hear
Yeah, I
that?
can hear it. Yes.
All right. Let's go.
is this generation is very sexually active without being in relationships.
No facts. Yeah.
Sex don't mean nothing.
Yeah.
It's it's like playing a card game, and
Them
if
not
you
in
win,
a
you lose, you draw.
monogamy.
They're gone. They're gone. They're gone to a different. They have no value to what their body is worth.
I get the feeling that it's more so with women, or like that has increased with females now.
Yes,
With
it's
these,
it has. Men has always kind of been that way, but the female now stepped it up as if they're men, and it's accepted based on music.
The music, you think so?
Of course.
Well, you are somebody who feels like the music influences.
Anybody
Has
says
some power.
otherwise, don't live in Jamaica,
Thank you.
right?
As I always
We're not
say.
going to blame the music,
No.
Yes,
Right.
no, we don't.
but it is a contribution.
Yes.
Not
Yeah.
causation, but correlation. That's what we say.
Right? And let me tell you, if you want a child to learn, let her sing it.
A, B, C, D, E, F.
And you want them to eat vegetable, put it in some little cartoon with a song. And the broccoli let go. Correct.
I mean, it's science, sound. If you know about sound waves,
It's always
it's
been.
science and the power of them. It's
And
science.
public figures are messengers.
Yeah.
I don't care who wants to say otherwise.
Yeah.
We shouldn't allow that because parents should be growing their children.
Yes.
But unfortunately, children don't always listen to parents.
No.
Their peers are more relatable.
Yes.
What they're seeing and seen on a level of their level is always more
Or who
relatable.
them see as cool. Them not necessarily see them parents as cool.
Yeah. But darling, you're a perfect example, and you weren't even trying to market or target children. You're targeting grown people who, because of your influence and your marketability,
Oh, yeah,
you
well.
brought a product up.
And the only difference why I had more to discuss is that my products were for adults and they were at nights in adult city.
All right. So, excuse me. I don't think I need to play anymore. Did you follow what's going on there, Carlos?
Yeah, I did.
So, couple important points that she brought up, right? In the overall spectrum of the topic, right? Does music influence impressionate minds? She said basically the music. If you don't think that music influences children or impressionate minds for that matter, then you don't live in Jamaica. She basically is saying that music is a very powerful tool. Like if with kids, if you want them to learn something, you put it in a song, and that's how they learn A B C D E F G and this and that and that. And man, you know what? I've heard some good points before as far as does the music influence things in society, but this is probably one of the most on point explanation of one of those points I've heard. What say you?
All right, let me say first thing thanks to Arlene for actually like decided to expound it on this topic, because I mean this topic has been around for years now, you know, whether music has any influence on the impression of our minds more large to the younger generation. All right, you see, when it comes to music and kids, right, especially a baby until they reach toddler stage, I can say this to you because you know I am a father, right, and music is like a source that we use to teach your child, because you know that whenever your child listen to music, the repetition of the same music every day, that eventually become a part of their mental upbringing, you know, and by that becoming a part of their mental upbringing, then they eventually it's something that they learn, you know, and that's actually become a part of them. You know, in the same light, like what Carlene is saying, when you have a topic such as sex, which has been lamented, you know, I mean, are continually being the main topic in more songs. A lot of times, like the younger generation, the kids, they actually like this becomes a part of them. Whereas if they're in a location where there are no form of restrictions to say you can't listen to this song. If they're in the classroom or they're among their peers, they're gonna continually consume the songs which continually surround the topic of sex, you know. And eventually, you know, this becomes a part of them, you know. They actually get to learn all the explicit things that goes on within in sex, or you know, everything. Nothing has been filtered, you know. So that they eventually learn all of this, you know, and to them it's become like a norm, you know, So that's why a lot of times you realize that the currently like our kids, nothing has been hidden, you know. And then the next thing that actually put an icing on this is the fact that with social media now, not only like you used to listen to these songs and you can actually imagine what they are saying. Now a lot of time the videos that are shown on Instagram, or sometimes a lot of time they have like competition for the songs, the dance scenes that you see that are actually like acting out the songs, like especially those songs, they're actually being done in a very graphic way, and these kids, they're actually seeing these things, you know. The way they dance, they're showing like they're showing a lot in these videos, you know. And a lot of kids, they're actually seeing these things, and they say what kids live what they learn, you know. Their minds are impressionable. Anything that they see, these impressionable minds see, they are gonna think that, you know what, we probably should try to act this out, or this become a part of us, you know. So eventually, you know, they grow up with this same thought process of what they actually learn in their younger days, and you know what, it's a part of them. So I mean, just to piggyback on what Carlene has said in the interview with The Fix, I think she's definitely not wrong. I mean, music has some influence. It has a lot of influence on the impressionist minds, you know. But it just comes down to the parents, because the parents they can control what their child or children see within the home. But when a child is among peers, it's gonna be a total different situation. The parents cannot control that situation, and that's when things get out of control, because the school is like the place of secondary communication for kids. So that's where they're gonna like a secondary home for them. Sorry, and it's a secondary home. So that's where they're gonna learn a lot of things that they never they weren't exposed to in your house, because you know, as I said, parents have restrictions. So the music has a lot of influence on the impression of our minds, and that's why we see these things are going on, and nothing is being hidden anymore. It's not like back in the days when you have songs that were like you have the like things, certain things are being filtered, certain things you wouldn't hear certain things in song. Like even if like a man gets certain from a favors from a favor from a girl in a sexual intercourse. They probably would when you hear this song, you probably wouldn't just hear it so raw and blatant, you know. But these days, like as I said last week, we hear who get this from Carrie seat and you know all these things like so, and the kids are hearing that, so it has a lot of influence on the impression of our minds and
yeah. So the thing is, I think a lot of the artists, they would say
you're a bit low, Tristan.
Can you hear me?
Still a bit low.
How about now?
Still very, very low.
You may need to adjust your volume because I haven't changed anything.
And my volume is very, very high.
Do you have headphones in?
No, we're cool now. Cool now. You can go ahead.
Okay, so you know a lot of the artists, they try to defend basically having the freedom to say whatever they would like to say in music, all the lewd stuff, the highly sexually graphical stuff, and they justify it by saying that that they're basically saying that they're not influencing anybody. I don't think that's the case. You know, I think that there should be some effort to keep certain type of music away from kids, but you know, with the internet and the access to certain things, it's almost impossible to do so. You know, but I don't think we can deny the fact that music can. I'm not gonna say it does in all situations, but I think it can influence people. If music in a sense, it sets the tone for certain things. You know, if you're having a nice lovely dinner with your significant other, right? You want to put on some music that sets the tone, right? If you're having a birthday party, a kid's birthday party or whatever, you're gonna set some music on to set the tone. It's just basically anything that human beings are doing to enjoy themselves. There's a certain type of music to enjoy themselves with, or to set that tone for that situation. In fact, one of the reasons why people love music so much is because music actually timestamps memories in time, if you follow what I'm saying. So when you think about certain songs that you used to like, older songs back in the day that you still listen to this day, when you hear them, you remember moments of your past which that music was playing, or that that in which you were singing that music. You know, so when you really think about it, the things that you say in your songs, it doesn't necessarily influence everybody, but if there's, like what you said, impressionable mind, it can influence them, you know, because it can set the tone for them to do whatever that music is saying, because they believe in that music so much. It sets the mood, you know.
Yeah, I mean, like, and it's just like what like Ari said, you know. I mean, there is really a correlation. You can actually see a correlation between like the type of music that a child listen to and the way they behave, especially in a school setting. Because you see, there are a lot of videos out there that are on the internet to see the behavior of kids in school in their uniform, the type of sexual scenes that you're seeing, and where do they what a lot of time in those same videos, songs are being played after with some very highly sexual content, you know. So of course you can see that they actually use the song to set the tone for whatever they are doing, you know. So of course you can see that there's a correlation that they're influenced by these songs, and of course they feel that there's a need for us to act it out. And probably the school is one of the best, the place where we can go and do it, because you know they cannot do it in your home, or they try to do it at your friend's house or somewhere. And as I said, the music is always there. So like I wouldn't say that music is totally responsible for all the behavioral patterns that we see amongst these kids.
No, a lot of these things were happening before certain type of music was being promoted and made.
Yes.
But the music doesn't help. The music, I feel like even though the music never started that, but I feel like the music helps to continue that.
Yes. You know what, you know what, the music definitely continue that, Tristan. Continue that. And like, and then because these artists, they keep glamorizing it, glamorizing it. So I mean it's a product that they're selling. It's working for them. I get it, it's working for them. I mean, you have a product, you keep giving it out, they're making money from it. But also you have to think that regardless of the fact that we're making money from this product that we're giving to the mass out there, remember that there are kids who are also consuming the music, because whether they like it or not, the vast majority of these artists, listeners, are the kids, the younger generation. These kids, they know the songs. Tristan, back then when I was young, I know more songs. I know, like, I could sing like songs word for word. No, when I'm growing up, like, sometimes I realize that, like, I probably just know, like, probably the chorus, because I'm not trying to learn all of the song no more. These kids, they know every bit and piece of the song, bro.
You remember you used to have the songbook when you used to go to school. You used to have the little songbooks that you used to buy.
Yeah.
And all the new songs that were out, they had the lyrics to those songs in the songbooks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what I said. That's really for kids. So like, no matter what these artists want to say, their core audience is really the kids. Core audience is really the kids. So I mean, and they're being influenced. I'm not gonna bash all the artists to say you are the reason why my child is doing this or my child. Of course, there have to be some responsibility amongst the parents themselves, because you're growing a child. I think I've said this before. It's always have to be your responsibility. Of course, when that child is out there with their parents, it's gonna be a total different situation. Regardless of the fact that you might be the strictest parents who try to say, certain things cannot be played inside my house and all that jazz. But when the child go out amongst their peers with peer pressure, it's a total different situation. So,
yeah, I get the feeling that this topic is gonna be an ongoing topic, because I just think that there's stronger arguments to support music influencing certain things in society against versus music not having anything to do with it. I'm not saying it's solely the responsibility of the music, but the music is a part of the problem. But as the politicians, they like to use music as a scapegoat. I think that's a problem, because when it comes to election time, they're the same ones trying to get promotion music or dub plates from those same types of songs and same types of topics of songs to rile up the crowd and make them feel good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, just like like, it works for us now, so let's resort to music, because it's our best choice right now, so they resort to it. But Tristan, as we were on the topic of the influence of the music, more largely the sexual content, and if you look back at the other day, Aishana, right? Aishana, I think she went to an event. I don't know if you saw that. She went to an event and she was dressed in a very impy, skimpy way, like, she was performing and everything.
I saw the pictures. I didn't saw the video.
There has been a lot of talks about that. I'm not trying to get into it, but just to say, like, people are actually, like, sharing their views on why she dressed like that, and she shouldn't be dressing like that, because she's not a good role model for the kids and she's showing too much and everything. I just say this to say, it kind of intertwined with everything that we're talking about, because you're saying that the way she's portraying herself as an artist and someone who was a child, she should not be doing that, because of course the kids are going to be looking up to you and they're going to think that, that's the way to go. So that's the reason why I brought up that conversation about Aishana.
I think honestly, here's what I think, right?
Yeah.
I think that it's relative, because if she wore that to a dance or a certain party that's for 18 and older, I think that I don't see a problem with it. Now, if she wore that to like a school event where she knows she's performing for high school kids or whatever, I think that would be an issue. And as far as her wearing that and taking a picture on Instagram, that's not the worst thing I've seen on Instagram. And secondly, kids shouldn't even be on Instagram until they get to a certain age to where they can see stuff like that. You understand?
But the thing is that, though, Tristan, Yes, I agree, but the reality is that though, that's not the case. These kids, they all have access to internet. They all have access to Instagram where they can see these things. So I mean, and just to Carlin said something that I probably I want to refute it a little, because she said that, I mean, when she was doing her thing back in the days, it was for adults and she performing in clubs or wherever. But the thing is that what she has to realize, even though she's performing in a nightclub and the videos are out there, kids are gonna see those videos. And when they see those videos, what do you think? They're gonna actually feel like, you know what, that's cool. That's something that I probably want to see myself. Or do you think, because Carlene influenced other people, she influenced other, not in a really negative way, but that's how you have other dancers that actually are following or little Darman stage. That's why we have new dancers, they were influenced by her. And some of them actually, like, even though some might get like use it to bring themselves within this dance industry. There also there are also a negative connotation from what she did as well. So I mean, in the grand scheme of things, I just think, like, I mean, regardless of the fact that you think that you are performing in a setting where there are only adults there, the reality is that you are performing there, but this same content or videos, they're gonna go out in the public, and the younger generation, younger kids, they're gonna get a chance to see it, and they're gonna be influenced as well. So I mean, no matter how you look at it, it's always gonna get in the wrong hands or wrong eyes.
I think that I think that things like that could get in kids' hands, whether she does it in public or she does it in private and shares it to somebody. Because you could share it to somebody in private, you could do it in private, share it to somebody, and they spread your pictures around on the internet, stuff like that. I think that parents should be involved in what their kids are looking at, you understand? Because especially I honestly think that certain kids shouldn't have phones until they reach certain ages, and they should have tablets or phones that have certain software with restrictions on it, you understand? I think that, and then also I would say the social media platforms should have certain things that they can detect to find out if it's really kids using their apps and stuff like that. I think that you shouldn't have to make adults not want to do adult type of things because there isn't a good enough system overall or good enough parenting control or parental control to keep them out of kids. Because if you think about it this way, right? Look at the pornography scene. There's millions of pornographic videos all around, right? But there's a certain level of control to keep them out of the reach of kids. So when you have like a cable subscription, you have certain parental guides that keep it off there. Even Google when you're Googling stuff, there's certain things that let you know that, okay, this is a pornographic site or whatever. There's certain restrictions, so kids can't just see porn that easily unless they really use their brains to go out of the way to see it. Now that's a different story if your child is intelligent enough to find some way, or inquisitive enough to find some way to see something that they shouldn't be seeing. I can't blame the person for making the video that they're seeing. I have to blame the parenting, giving them access to certain things, as well as whatever website or whatever app there is, our operating system that doesn't have enough parental control.
Yeah, but you know what? Yeah, of course the parents. I mean, the most of the blame is gonna go on the parents to ensure that they have some control in their household to ensure that their child is not exposed to these sexual contents. But I mean, there are other avenues through which these their kids can get access to these kind of sexual scenes or whatever. I mean, I just think like that's where it's kind of hard for the parent to have any form of control, because once your child starts to go into certain social setting and more like they're gonna have friends who probably in their at their home, their parents are somewhat loose, so they get access to certain things. So like you could I just think for right now it's they probably could try to they can control it to a certain extent. To a certain extent. Because I mean these kids these days have you mentioned about inquisitive minds, trust me. They have very, very inquisitive minds. If you realize a lot of times, if your child get access to your phone, they start pressing. Next thing you know, they reach all over. And this is, I mean, and something might attract them, and they realize, for example, if it's like, for example, a music app, they're gonna keep going to that app and doing their thing. So it's just like they're inquisitive, Tristan. So it's always gonna be like that. So I mean, like, I just hope the time comes when like we can have a lot more control.
But all right, put it this way, right? If you look at a country like, let's say, I don't know if it's Saudi Arabia is a good example, or Dubai, because I think a lot of those Muslim countries are getting more secular with certain things. But a lot of those countries in the Middle East, women can't even wear regular clothes. They have to cover up their face, and the only thing you can see is their eyes. So they definitely don't have any dancehall queens or anybody dressing like Aishana over there to where kids can see, But I promise you, those kids, those same little Muslim kids, they're still finding ways to see certain type of content that they shouldn't be seeing, So I think that you just should have good controls. Companies should invest in making sure that they can detect if the users are of a certain age. I'm sure with AI and all this technology, there should be a way to do that. You know what I mean? And then parents just need to pay more attention and just stop leaving their kids up like that. Now, on the other hand, to touch on what Vybz Kartel was saying with his music and how kids shouldn't be listening his music and stuff like that, I can't completely agree with him, only because the music that he's doing music to play, he's doing the certain type of music to be played on airwaves, which is for everybody to hear, versus somebody that's doing a content in a private setting. You see what I'm saying? That doesn't necessarily have the same type of reach. I think that's a different. It's a different type of. It's a contrast. It's a different type of contrast when you look at music and the type of music that you're creating and the content of your music versus if somebody's a private dancer in a strip club or something like that. I think that there's less control over whether your kids can hear that, only because the music is made to go out to the public,
You know, Tristan? At the time when Vybz Kartel made that statement about if you look into Vybz Kartel or other artists to be socially responsible for your kids based on the type of music that they are putting out, then you already fail as a parent. I think at the time when he made that statement, right, it was at a time where, like, of course, social media was on the rise. A lot of people, but there weren't so much people that were actually streaming from YouTube. Their main source of listening to music was that they either purchase a CD or they hear it on the radio or somewhere. So at that time, I think it was a little bit more, they were a little bit more control within that regard. So yeah, at the time when he made that statement, I could see it kind of relevant at that time, even though it wasn't totally right. But to fast track now to our current times right now, if you had made that statement now, I would say that, Kartel, you are not totally right, because we're in a different time right now where not only your kids will have to go to listen to the music on a radio or listen to the music in the car or buy a CD or wherever, even though they shouldn't be purchasing those CDs at the time. No, it's a time where they have a lot of streaming source where they have access to it. So now, if you would say that, like, you fail as a parent, I would say no, they don't fail. That the kids just have more access now. It's the internet that you have to blame. because there's a lot more access. There probably there need to be a lot more censorship, a lot more control as to what they can get access to based on their age group, you know. So I mean, it was just two different times, you know. So I mean, but they have social responsibilities though. They do have social responsibility based on what the kind of product that they're putting out, the kind of topics that they're singing about. I mean, these music influence our kids. They influence even older people. So I mean, and the kids they're impressionable. Whatever they see, they think of it as being a reality, and they should be doing it. You know, they should act it out or whatever the case. And that's why you always see most video scenes is just kids that are actually like playing or whatever. They're actually listening to songs. So I mean, there are some influence, and they do have a social responsibility.
All right, cool. So let's progress. Just for the sake of time. So our next topic is before we get to our next topic, guys, please remember to like the live. Remember to click the subscribe button if you haven't already subscribed. Definitely leave a comment. We'd like to know your thoughts. Do you like the live? How do you think about it? What do you think we need to add to it? What do you think we need to take away? You know, some constructive criticism is also welcome. So however you feel. Also remember to share the live to somebody that might like this type of content. Okay, so definitely guys, remember to like, share, and subscribe. So let's get into our next topic. So the next topic is Jamaica's birth rate continues dramatic fall as population ages. And this is an article taken from the Jamaica Observer .com website. I'm gonna read through it real quick. All right. So it starts with Kingston, Jamaica. Jamaica continues to face a low birth rate problem, with the total number of live births in the country declining sharply over the last 20 years. In 2021, there was 31,276 live births compared to 40,508 in 2010 and 56,134 in 2000. The information is contained in the Jamaican Public Health Status Report between 2000 and 2022, which was tabled in the Parliament this week. It is compiled by the National Epidemiology Branch of the Ministry of Health and Wellness. Overall, Jamaica's crude birth rate, which is the number of annual live births per 1,000 population, declined by 10.2% points from 21.7 per 1,000 population in 2000 to 11.4 per 1,000 and in population in 2022. Meanwhile, in 2022, some 21,390 deaths were recorded in Jamaica. The highest number, 26,974 of deaths between 2000 and 2022 was recorded in 2021. Notably, this was at the height of the COVID-19 pandemic, although it has not been stated whether the excess deaths were due to the pandemic. In 2021, the crude death rate showed approximately 9.9 deaths occurring in every 1,000 persons in the population. However, this decreased to 7.8 deaths per 1,000 population in 2022. In the meantime, the health status report also highlighted the country's dependency ratio, which in 2019 was 48.1 per 100 work age population. This shows a decline from 72.7 per 100 working age population in 2003. The dependency ratio can be disaggregated into child dependency ratio and elderly dependency ratio. Child dependency ratio is the number of children 0 to 14 years of age per 100 working age population, 15 to 64 years old, and the elderly dependency ratio is the number of persons over 65 years per 100 working age population. A low dependency ratio is desirable as it indicates that there are more working age adults in the labor force who can support the young and elderly. The population by age shows that in 2019 there were 578,738 Jamaicans under the age of 15 compared to 261,720 Jamaicans over the age of 65. However, between 2000 and 2019, the child population decreased by 31.7%, while the elderly population grew by 32.6%. So, long story short, Jamaica is having a decreased birth rate and an increased elderly rate. So Jamaica is slowly becoming Japan, to where there's less births and more people that are older in society. What say you, Carlos?
All right, I remember back in the days when they said Japan had an aging population. I think they're still having an aging population to the extent where they're actually like pushing on them to the population, pushing them to start having kids. I think the same thing occurs in Canada as well. That's why they have this mass migration. All right, in Jamaica now, they say that we have a reduction in birth rate. There are numerous factors which could contribute to the fact that we have a reduction in our birth rate. And I realized they has mentioned about COVID and the time when they are like the death rate increased. And there are other factors that contribute to the death rate. But when it comes down to birth rate, right, it could be a case where now, like, we realize that our mothers are you have the family right now, you have a lot more family planning. Because like back in the days when you used to have like the birth rates were very high. At that time you had no contraceptives, way back then. When you have a lot, when like in a family like a woman would have like probably about 12 kids or so. As time progress, and you have like more woman empowerment, you have more education, you have more contraceptive being coming into place. You realize that people are start having more family planning, and with family planning now, like if I find out that they mean like married, they get decided they're gonna get married and they're gonna plan for kids, gonna plan for kids and say, all right, we're probably gonna have two kids, or some these days you realize that it's not like back then when our parents would probably have like kids at a very young age. Now, like I can speak for myself, a lot these days people that are educated, they tend to want to have their kids they tend to have their kids at a later age because they're more career oriented, so they're focusing on trying to get their goals in line, so that whenever it's time for them to have a child, they know that they can actually take care of that child. So it could be as a result, as I said, just more woman empowerment, more family planning. I mean, more use of contraceptive, and more people just become a bit more conscious to the fact that, hey, times are hard. So right now we cannot just be going out and having kids all over, because it's not an easy road when you have like multiple kids and like there. I mean, right now, especially right now with this like tough economic times that we're facing, and it's so hard to take care of kids. Like people are just saying, hey, we're gonna wait, we're gonna plan for two. It's just like back in the days in China when they have an overpopulation,
one child policy,
and they came up with the one child policy, and
right,
like that tough time. On the other hand, it's not like they're trying to come up with a one child policy in Jamaica. People are just taking precautionary measures now. They say, hey, you know what? It probably is not time for kids, for a child right now. Probably it's time for us to accomplish the goals that probably my parents never accomplished. And we can get some things together. No, we can move towards a child. Or it could be a case wherein, like, you know what? Like some people just don't wanna have kids. Or it could be a case where the statistics that we're seeing, it could be I would say I'm wondering to what extent though. I would like to know the sample size, That's another thing that I'm not trying to discredit statting right now, don't get me wrong, but I probably like want to know the sample size, because whenever they go and they do like these form of statistics, sometimes like
they refer to it because it says, let's see, meanwhile in 2022 some not the deaths, but it says in 2021 there were 31,276 live births compared to 40,508 in 2010 and 56,134 in 2000. So it's been declining. They have the numbers, and I mean, unless these kids, I mean, they know. I mean, of course, the numbers got to be real because the Jamaica birth certificate office and all that, they got to register these kids to say they were born, whether it was from a hospital or a home or whatever. Unless these kids are being registered, that should be pretty much. They might not get everybody, but that should be pretty on the spot. Those numbers.
I mean, because I'm here trying to think if like these days you still have like kids that are being born and they're not being registered. Because I remember back in the days, a lot of like back in my time growing up, a lot of kids. Sometimes they don't have a birth certificate. It's because like their parents never get a chance to register them. And I know that they refer to the crude birth rate as the number of child being born to every 1,000 parents, right?
Right.
For 1,000 parents, and they may refer to that. So, I mean, of course, I'm not trying to discredit statin. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to discredit statin or whatever. Like, but I mean, sometimes we do have to think about the sample size, to say because.
But that is the sample size because the 31,000, the 40,000, that's the total recorded birth. It's not really a sample size. That's just the population because. It's not like they're testing. It's not like they're testing the population. They're just reporting the numbers of kids.
Yeah, they're reporting the numbers, but you see, they're reporting the numbers. But the thing is that, like, even though they're reporting the numbers, I think it might still not factor in those births that are not registered.
Yeah, but how many could that be though? Because remember, it's not that easy to. It only takes a matter of time before they find out whether you are registered, because when you start school, in order to start any school, they need to see your birth certificate or something of that manner. That they need to know that you have an immunization certificate, that you got your shots, things like that. So I mean, they might not catch everything. I'm not gonna say they caught everything. But I would like to think that they caught at least 98% of what actually happened in the country. I don't think that there's that many people that are just having babies and not in this modern time, having babies and not getting them registered, not getting them a birth certificate and all that stuff.
That's me. You might be surprised, Like, what, Tristan? I'm not even trying to challenge everything right now, but you might be surprised. Like, these things still happen, honestly. These things are still happening right now. Like kids doing birth certificate.
No, I agree with you. I think it does happen. I just don't. I think it happens here too. I just, as far as how much of it happens, I don't think it happens that much to where it would skew those numbers.
Yeah, because it's kind of interesting though. There are a lot of factors that could contribute to this so-called low declining birth rate in Jamaica.
No,
lot of
no, the murder rate, that's a different story. that those numbers could be anywhere. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of people that are missing in Jamaica it's not reported. So that the murder rate, no, that's a different story.
It's kind of interesting though. It's really interesting. Like, I mean, probably it could be a sign that Jamaica is heading in the right direction where more family planning.
No, see, that's good that family planning is going on, but you don't want your population to be declining unless it's overpopulated. And
but you see the thing though, Tristan, like in every a country like Japan, right? Let's compare a country like Japan where there's an aging population, Like, I mean, like it could be a case where like when people are career oriented to the point where they're so focused on trying to get achieve their goals in life, achieve a home or whatever. So they're for most of their lives they're gonna be so engrossed into like wanting to achieve that to the point where they're not become like they're not old to the point, So now in Jamaica is a different situation, Now you look at like we're not they're saying that we are having a declining birth rate, right? I mean, of course, you don't want it to be a case where the birth rates are being so low to the point where your population is not growing until you have like you have more elderly people, and that will increase the dependency ratio for the older generation.
Right, and then you need young people to do certain types of jobs. So what you're gonna end up doing is you're gonna have to be forced to um uh make have people migrate from other countries to come to your country to do the work.
I, but I think like you see over a time though that do fix itself though in the system. And I always fix itself because when we reach the point where there are more favorable situations wherein they feel like there's a need where life get better economically in the country to the point where like you know what there are more job security, there are more avenues through which I can see myself right now starting a family. It's easier for us to get out. So the economic situation in the country also has to be favorable for families to want to see themselves wanting to say, all right, we're gonna build a family as well. And a lot of times, like you know what, I think it's actually not they're not looking into it that like a lot of these like families they are migrating. They might decide say, all right, we're gonna migrate overseas and we're gonna build our family overseas instead of building our families in Jamaica. You know,
Right.
so their situations become a lot more favorable to the point where like families are gonna say, oh, let us start building a family here. Let us have kids. Like that's also something to question as well, because once it become more favorable for you to live in a country, standard of living get better. You know, a lot of things is just you just want to live there. Then you want to raise a family there. So I mean that's something that they probably need to look into as well. You know? And,
Yeah.
yep. And then you probably would see more young people wanting to have kids, or it might just be rough times to just tough times, you know, tough times where like people just cannot do a family right now.
Well, I'm curious to see where this turn or these turn of events will go as far as that is, because right now I know Japan is gearing up to have a lot of people migrate there so that they can actually have a workforce that can handle the amount of work that they have. And Japan actually has some type of is it xenophobia is the word. I hope I'm not saying the wrong word. To where they're so used to their race of people and culture of people there that it's gonna take some getting used to when other people migrate there from different cultures and races to for the Japanese people to accept them all, because it's one thing to accept tourists, but when there's this mass migration of people and migrants are everywhere, it takes some getting used to. I tell you that, because if you even look at, well, I want to say the migrants in New York, but even though their situation is a bit different, it's not like they're like, they came and everybody's working and, already putting themselves to use, that I think that might be a little bit different. But even that, the people of New York, the natives of New York, they had to really get used to them, so it really shook up the city pretty much.
But you know what? The cost of migration is a lot still. Tristan, I just do not see Jamaica getting there to the point where they have to do mass migration, because I don't even think that Jamaica can contain that. We cannot contain that.
You'll be surprised, because if you look how many people from different countries are working in Jamaica, when you're like, why do they come to work in Jamaica? No, yeah, but you know what? They are, and they might be making more money than what you would make if a regular Jamaican citizens applies for that job. They probably would be making more money
I
than
mean,
them.
in the hospitality industry, you might see a lot of foreigners like chefs and all. I mean, they migrate to Jamaica. They when they are on contracts to work.
Even
To
in
work.
construction, if you look at like when they're building all those hotels and the highways and stuff, a lot of people that are in construction are from different countries, and which I think that's, to me, that's kind of crazy, that they're bringing people from other countries to work in Jamaica to that magnitude. Why they can't use the Jamaican contractors and stuff. But I don't know what type of deal they have with the government and what they allow. But
but I
it's
think
unfortunate.
but I think I mean in those scenarios though, not just where you have like construction work going on. I really think it's because we don't really have the skilled workers there. Sometimes it's based on who they get like which company.
Yeah,
You know,
I agree. That might be the case. There might not be as much skilled workers to where But then again, I don't know, because I don't know. Maybe there is, maybe there isn't. I don't know.
yeah. But I hope still. I'm hopeful that Jamaica. I mean, conditions become a lot more favorable still. There is for it. I mean, another thing that I need to touch on, probably like people are just generally scared about that's the crime in Jamaica as well. When I think about it like that, people don't want to grow up. They don't want to raise a child within that system where like they're being exposed to too much like violence and. Cause I mean, what I would like to see, like in the inner city areas, if like I wish it was a case where I could like if it was like I could see like based on like comparison between different areas like inner city areas versus the uptown areas are inner city versus urban areas. I want to see like if to do a comparison to see like if birth rates are reduced drastically in those areas, and then probably it could have probably like I could probably come to the conclusion that probably people they don't want to have any kids within these areas anymore because the kids are being exposed to too much violence. Like just other factors. I'm just thinking about other factors that could contribute to the fact why they don't really want to raise kids in certain areas. Because I mean that could be something that they could look into as well. So it's part could be like people are just feel.
Would be interesting to see what those demographics are. But let's move on because we're strapped for time. We have 2 more topics left and I want to run through them before the time is up. All right. So the next topic is the return of Chronixx. So Chronixx is one of my favorite artists. Just a breath of fresh air. With regard to the music that in general that we're hearing as far as like this new school of music. And one of the things I noticed with Chronixx is he hasn't been dropping a lot of music, which in a sense the negative thing about it is that if you like that type of music or you like Chronixx per se, you want to hear more music more often, more fresh music, so you can have a good amount to listen to and thing, But I think a good thing about that, him not dropping very often or waiting for years to drop, is that it actually increases the value of his product. Because when it's scarce and he actually drops, you're going to appreciate it more than if he's dropping 2-3 times a year. Just like a lot of the other artists, I think he's at the level to where he's solidified his name to where he doesn't have to think about, I gotta drop by this time or that time. It's just whenever he's ready to drop, he drops. We've seen a lot of big artists do the same thing, like Damian Marley and Stephen Marley and all the other. We don't really complain about them and how long they take to drop music. If you really think about it, they don't really drop music until they have an album and they're promoting and going on tour and everything, the whole 9, and they'll probably drop an album like 2-3 years, every 2-3 years at the very least. So do you think that people wanting Chronixx to drop, do you think that it's an unreasonable ask, or do you think that it's been a while now and we need to hear from Chronixx?
Yeah, let me say this, Tristan. Chronixx is like one of my favorite artists as well. Everyone knows that. But you see, what I realize, Tristan, you see, when you're an artist, or not even an artist, if you are someone great or a legend, and when you just make your entry in your respective field, right? I think if you have done a great body of work, then your great body of work that you have done initially, you're gonna be benchmarked based on that body of work that you did, right? So I think in Chronixx's situation, is a case where he had came up with a plethora of solid songs, albums, songs after song that people sing along to. You just feel like it give that Bob Marley vibe, you know.
Yeah,
You know,
that type of feeling, you know, he brought back that era, that energy. Yeah,
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 it gives that energy, you know. So because he came with that kind of wave, you know, people are always like hungry for that kind of music. So now, I mean, people are just saying that, you know, we haven't heard any Chronixx songs in a while. I
right.
get it. Sometimes the artist needs some time to rest because over the years, I can only imagine. I think Chronixx is one of those artists that go on to every continent, you know, because that guy toured. He was touring a lot, you know, and I've watched his journey, you know, and Chronixx has done a lot of great work, by the way. You know, but I think probably you feel like you reached a point where, you know, you just need to rest, slow down for a minute, and get back to the drawing board. And probably he's thinking about putting on a body of work. But you know what? Tell you what, when you are serving the people, especially with music, they have expectations for you. And as I said, they're gonna benchmark it based on the body of work that you have been doing in the past. So the people are just saying, no, hey, we need more Chronixx. I don't think it's an unreasonable call for them to ask Chronixx for more songs because I mean they are your audience. If you have a product and you keep and the product that you are selling to people, people are always gonna come to your store or wherever to get that product. They're expecting to get that product because I mean this is my store to get my product. And if the day they come, right, and they're not getting that product, they're gonna be so upset because they're like, why are we not getting it anymore? No, I get to feel like it's the same situation with Chronixx now. Chronixx always gives good songs, good music, to the point where it becomes scarce. Scarcity, while it is a good thing sometimes, because scarcity can be very good because sometimes you not putting out, you being scarce, people are gonna be longing to see you. And when they actually make an entry, you know what? People are gonna be so appreciative and they're just so satisfied because what they have been yearning for, you finally give them what they want. On the
Right.
other hand, though, scarcity can be a bad thing because you know what? Sometimes out of sight, out of mind, right? And it's just like it's the next best person that arrive on the scene. They're gonna say, all right, this is the person that I'm gonna listen to right now. He reminds of us. He reminds us of Chronixx. Or reminds us of Bob Marley. And tell you what, Chronixx is not there to fulfill their desires. So tell you what, this is a new artist that they listen to right now. That can be this. That can be what result from Chronixx being a little scarce. It's just because we don't see any new artists that are new reggae artists to the forefront that are as strong and as vibrant as Chronixx right now. But I'm telling you that it's only through the passage of time. Sorry, through the passage of time we can see that happening. You know.
Do you think that scarcity? Would you? What about the argument that scarcity doesn't apply to everybody? Because I think when you're at a certain respected status, I think scarcity doesn't apply to you. Case in point, Lauryn Hill. Lauryn Hill dropped one album her whole career. The only other music we heard from Lauryn Hill was what she did with the Fugees, right? And a
Yeah.
couple singles that she collaborated with along the way up to this day, right? Now, if Lauryn Hill, at her age right now, which is much older, if she drops an album this year, I think that it will do well.
You know what? All right. That is, I totally agree with you with that, Tristan. But while that is true, you have to look at it. Chronixx is a young man, you know, Tristan. He's a young man. You know, he's a young man. So, and it's not like, I don't want to say it's not like a Buju. Because, you know, it's not like a Buju Banton or, you know, the Marley. The Marley is just, they are just exceptional. It's different for them. Damian Marley, it's just different for them. I think, even though Chronixx has done a lot, I think Chronixx still don't reach his peak as yet.
I think so too. I don't think he's at his peak, but I think he's on a track to legendary status. However,
He doesn't reach his peak.
I think scarcity doesn't apply to him 100%, but I think that he shouldn't wait too long to drop either, because I still agree with you that out of sight, out of mind could apply to him. Maybe I think he can always make a comeback, but honestly, I don't think he should be worrying about what time he's dropping. I think an artist like that, I don't like them to worry about, oh, I gotta drop by this time. I like them to really just be inspired to do music. And when you got enough inspiration and you did enough music with all the inspiration you got, then if you feel like you want to set a date, a release date, and set up an album, then set it up. I feel like that's pure artistry. But then again, I really don't want to wait like 4 years at a time before I hear a project from Chronixx. Maybe like 2 years I think is reasonable, but 4 years is kind of long, but I don't think that it's gonna dim his career even if he does 4 years. Because if you look at like somebody that would kind of be Chronixx's equivalent, even though it's a totally different genre and different styles. If you look at Kendrick Lamar, right? Kendrick Lamar, he waited about 4 years before he dropped his last album. And when he dropped his album, I think he won a Grammy for it, if not Grammy nominated, and it did very well. So it's sometimes it's not about how frequent you drop. It's all about dropping less frequent with more inspiration in your work, so that the quality is up there. I think that when Chronixx drops again, I think Chronixx is trying to get a Grammy by the time, because I don't think that he's just sitting around not recording. I think he's recording, but I think he wants to get that Grammy under his name, because he still hasn't got that Grammy yet. He got the nomination, but he hasn't got the Grammy. See, even Kabaka Pyramid get Grammy, before Chronixx, which you would think that Chronixx would have got a Grammy before Kabaka Pyramid and Coffee. Just to the level of music that he does.
You see, the thing, Tristan, with Chronixx, you see, he came about at a time when Jamaica needed a Chronixx at a time when Chronixx made his signature. We need that healing, following all the other songs that we were getting.
Yeah.
Unless he's someone who is reading the street. Because he's reading the street, reading Jamaica well, and say, this is the time when I need to do it. Unless he's doing that, I can say, all right, you know what, just give him some time. But if he's not doing that, and I respect Chronixx, and he's one of my favorite artists, if he's not doing that, I'm telling you, I'm not going to say he's going to get it wrong, but I just think, like, you don't want to wait too long to do that. Because honestly, like, I see where the dancehall fans, they change their mind very quickly whenever it comes to an artist. It's not like back then when you have like a one-man show where one man is running the place. Different. Now with Chronixx being a reggae artist, as long as he come here, he come with a very solid album or a good substance, which the fans are interested in, because that's another thing. Because like back then you have young people, not only old people who are listening to Chronixx, but old and young, they like Chronixx music, but we have he has a different fan base to cater to right now, Whether you like it or not, it's a different fan base that Chronixx has to cater right now. Of course, you're always going to be like people like us who always going to say, all right, Chronixx drop. You never listen to Chronixx song.
So, what do you mean different fan base? Because the same people that used to listen to Chronixx 4 years ago, some of them died, but, most of them are still alive, and even if they're old, they still listen to music.
No, of course, but when I say different fan base, because now back then when Chronixx, like, you're talking about younger kids. Like, young kids listen to Chronixx as well, Tristan. Listen to Chronixx as well, but like, now, is it gonna be a case where they necessarily find what he's singing favorable? Because Chronixx, back then when Chronixx was at his A game, Tristan, I'm telling you, like, it wasn't like just old people that was listening to Chronixx songs. Young people are actually they're big fans of Chronixx, So I'm I just want to say this: in any form of music that we getting right now, we cannot rule out, because I have this thing in Jamaica where they think that reggae music is all listened to by probably like middle-aged people, or they probably think that's the case, but that's not the case. Once you have good music, trust me, you will get like people of all, you cannot even like segregate based on demographics. They're gonna listen to your song. You know, cause look at a person like Remy and Virgo. Remy and Virgo does very good songs, you know. And not because he's young, not because he's young. I'm sure it's not really old or mid-age people that are listening to Remy and Virgo song. Younger kids are listening to his song.
Yeah.
That guy did that song the other day, which is a very powerful song, and I can guarantee that the song that he did with Massacre, that's a very good song. You know, and like people are listening to it. So I mean, like, just don't be scared for too long, because I mean, yes, you are Chronixx. Yes, Chronixx. You're a giant, you know.
Right.
But curiosity sometimes can diminish the interest of the people. The interest of the people will diminish. Sorry.
I agree with you. I just think that some artists transcend scarcity, and I think Chronixx is one of them. However, I also think that there's not technically a clock that is on, but I think that the effectiveness of his music might not be as much if he waits too long. You know, you wanna keep on these playlists. You wanna keep in these people's minds. You don't wanna pop up every 5 years, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I'm glad to see you," but then, you know.
I mean, granted, though, you know, Tristan, if whatever topics he's singing about is relevant, and he expounded well, I'm telling you that he can get the same effect like he had back then. But that's why I said, I mean, I hope that he's reading the street, or reading is reading the market, and know what to comment. Because as an artist, you have to do that. If you're reading the market well, you can hit at any time. Whereas if you just come with that topic, that song that is very topical, you know, or whatever you have, you can hit. So I think probably he's doing his homework, you know. I don't think Chronixx is just, as you said, he's just sitting around not doing anything. He's working on songs. Because the last I heard from Chronixx is that he said that don't look for any song in the new music soon, because he was so upset about the whole Spotify thing, you know. So
apparently it sounds that this is what I'm getting from it, and I hope I'm right, because it sounds like he did a song with a producer guy called Panda Plaza, and the guy distributed his music without his permission. Perhaps that music was supposed to go on an album or something like that, and the guy ended up distributing it without his permission, and that's where the problem lies. Because if you notice, Chronixx he puts out songs under his own label. He doesn't do a lot. Right, or whoever he works with under his label. He doesn't do a lot of he'll work with external producers, but it'll drop under his production. You see what I'm saying? Like, they'll get their credits or whatever and everything, but it'll be a part of his project, because he puts out bodies of work most of the time than singles. So he doesn't, it's not like these other guys that, me give a producer the song that they said him put it out when him feel like put it out, that type of thing. He runs his thing totally different, which I respect it, you know. So if he did that song for that guy, maybe that guy was feeling like he did that song for too long, and, you know, he's not gonna put it out, or it's not gonna make this album or whatever. So, you know, I'm gonna put it out myself, and I don't know what it is, but that definitely sounds like Chronixx. It doesn't sound like AI, you know. Or it could be AI, but, you know, that's some good AI if it is, you know. Good quality AI. So, but anyways, let's progress. So our last topic, and guys, like, share, and subscribe. Comment on the video if you're still here. Definitely subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. So our last topic is Senator Mathew Samuda denounces his British citizen. Have you heard anything about this? And also, are you familiar with Senator Mathew Samuda?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course. You know, what do I think of?
Is he still a minister without portfolio?
I think The last time, not, you don't quote me on that though. I think, yeah. Of course, I remember Samuda, you know. Or this citizenship and who is renouncing and all of that. I mean, will continue, you know. Continue. So as long as we're in election era. Because one party is gonna prove that, hey, I'm gonna give up my citizenship to show that I'm loyal to Jamaica. But I mean, for him to do that right now, I'm just wondering if I don't know what you think about it, Tristan. You know, because I think I could call it a good move for him to do something like that.
Do you think it's to put pressure on Mark
To me,
Golden?
I would like to think that. I don't want to say. I just think that probably was done just to put pressure on Mark Golden to say like we are doing the right thing, so you should do it. But you know what? As maybe a lot of other members also have citizenship from the UK, and they're not giving it. You know.
Or do you think that he has his eyes on becoming a PM one day?
No, honestly, like. But I just think that we're in election year right now. So like as I say, everybody's gonna do whatever is in their best interest to show the opposing party that hey, we are doing the right thing over here. You better do it, you know. You better get your hearts together and give up that citizenship. So I just think it's really that they're actually doing this, playing this same political football to show who can score more goals, and whoever score the most goals, then they're gonna show the people that hey, that's the party that is leading right now. Vote for them. That's they're just trying to rake in votes right now. That's what they're really trying to do. You know, I mean, that's what I think about it. I don't think it's really like to probably genuinely give it up because it's to show that hey, I'm patriotic to Jamaica. Because if you think about it, why choose now to give it up? Why choose now? Why choose a time when you're trying to give it up? Knowing that you had this dual citizenship for years now. Because I don't think it's really like this dual citizenship like a month ago or last year. You may have that citizenship for a good while now. But now is the perfect time for us to put pressure on the opposition. And you know what? There are a lot of other members in the People's National Party who I think also has dual citizenship. And they are probably hiding. You know, but then they might be saying to themselves that we're not giving up our citizenship. You know, we're gonna hold on to this thing dearly because this is what will save us in the event that things doesn't work out well in Jamaica.
So here's an article from the JamaicaObserver.com. It says Senator Samuda says he's renouncing British citizenship. So it seems as if he hasn't done it already because it says he's renouncing, right? So Kingston, Jamaica. Government Senator Mathew Samuda, who also serves as Minister without Portfolio in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, says he is advanced in the process of renouncing his British citizenship, which he acquired at birth. He is calling for opposition leader Mark Golding to take a similar course of action. Samuda made the disclosure in a statement to the media on Thursday afternoon. According to Samuda, he voluntarily made the decision after listening to recent public discourse around the issue of dual citizenship. This is him saying that, I voluntarily took the decision to retain Jamaican citizenship only and renounce British citizenship after having carefully listened to recent public discourse concerning the issue of dual citizenship, said Samuda. I had begun the process of renunciation prior to today, but completing relevant forms in response to public inquiries. I wish to make my decision to renounce clear, he continued. Samuda's action followed public discussions over whether aspiring leaders of Jamaica should have dual citizenship and mounting pressure from the ruling Jamaica Labour Party for Golding to either renounce his British citizenship or step down as president of the People's National Party. Prime Minister and JLP leader Andrew Holness, in recent interview on the television program CVM at Sunrise, revealed that he is of the view that the position of any individual who aspires to lead Jamaica but remains a dual citizen is both untenable and incurable. However, Golding has since held his ground, insisting that he is compliant with the Constitution and laws of Jamaica. The Constitution of Jamaica does not forbid Jamaicans who are citizens of another Commonwealth country from sitting in Parliament. Yeah. So so this is definitely a political play.
It's definitely one. Because you see, the last sentence that you heard that says that once they are a citizen of the Commonwealth nation, it does not limit them from taking part in politics in Jamaica, in the Parliament. So when you look at that, I mean, like, you can see that we're like a lot. I mean, I almost imagine that a lot of other Jamaica National Party members, they have dual citizenship. And what about those who are saying to themselves, hey, we're not giving it up? You might be the brave one to come to the forefront and say, I'm going to give up mine. There might be others there that are not giving it up. Likewise, in the People's National Party, you might have other members that might say, we're going to give up our citizenship. You know, they might have that. But I mean, it's a benefit for one right now. This dual citizenship game that they're playing right now is really being used to show who are more patriotic and who are willing to be in Jamaica and stand up for the country and all that. They're just using it to say, all right, we are better. We are going to do the right thing. We are going to give up our dual citizenship to the UK and show Jamaicans that we are willing to serve them. I mean, it will work to an extent, you know. It will work to an extent for them, I think.
All right. Well, I guess we'll see how this plays out, but you know, we're definitely drawing closer to the election with all these things happening. So, you know, it's interesting. It's interesting, but I think we gotta wrap it up now. So I want to thank everybody for viewing this live, for everybody that caught it live, and I want to thank everybody that's watching the replay as well. I appreciate you guys for your support, and I hope you continue to support the live, support what we're doing, and definitely we'll have more topics and more things to discuss in the future, and I hope you can come and stick around for it. Because it will for sure get bigger and better. So I want you to give you guys a round of applause. Give yourself a round of applause. And Carlos, bless up for being here. Thank you for writing it out. It was a great conversation, man.
Thank you, man. The feeling is mutual, man. Thank you very much, Tristan. And thanks to everyone that decided to stay around and listen. You know, it's been a pleasure. One love to you all.
Yeah, man. So, I'll catch you guys on the flip side. I hope you guys have a good night wherever you are. And, just go and chill, you know. So, bless up, everybody. I'll see you guys next week, all right?
Next year can't pass on me, don't reach it. Man, out yes, I feel it. When the money there, man, need it. Me, I go hard on the home stretch. Rough a beer.
My God! My God!
Move your lazy blood clot, man, I make moves. Oh, you know I work, I want get food. Money, man, I make no excuse. And nice them, I make better press move. Smart your fuck, life at the best school. Can't deal with them shit, cause sex cool. Farm fool and get fucked like you make blues. That's why I stop smoke and drink less booze. Man, know sad days have to make funds. Some man want it all and me forget crumbs. Brand new 9 next to make them make bucks. Their face never hear me out. 12 months. No, I the world we are shell down. The way them want me up now. Me never feel so welcome. Stand up tall, me never bend down. Me I go hard but the home stretch. Money make me happy, dog. Money make me happy. No, don't count me out yet. Me now worry about the body, man. I go for in the natural. Not even 10 cents. Me no beg friend. From them now make progress, me a bench them. Early morning me jump out like spank shell. Never all for myself, me ever broke bread. You have a feminine style from your love bed. Can't come round the killer, them with bust head. I just them licky, we just make enough dead. Every time you see them a beg 100. Because I for my shop, me no stop dig. Serious for my money on the ramping. The killer them no move like Sam Smith. I'm the way full them up a shot like Gatlin. Me never stop press over for stop win. I'ma take care of my shit.
My God! My God!
Money make me happy, dog. Money make me happy. Don't count me out yet. No time. Money make me happy. Money make me happy. Yeah, I got hard, but no, I'm stretching. Big cheese and most, man, you know. Say me name, you know. What's the top? One general.